Yo, what's going on, internet? So I just got a box of Golden's SoFlat paint. So this paint is flat, no booty at all, no junk in the trunk, flat, 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 flat. So that is what we're going to go over today, the Golden SoFlat paint. So if you don't know what sort of flat is, basically, you know, when you have sort of paint and it finishes, you can have like a matte or a flat, which is like not really sort of reflective of light at all. So it doesn't have that glare. Or you can have on the other side something that's glossy, very glossy, or something in the middle like a satin. I like a lot of my pieces flat, or a lot of my paint flat, mainly because you can go from flat to adding like a glossy sort of finish, but you can't go to having like a glossy finish with the paint and then sort of bring it back to like a flat. I like having that option of, you know, having the flat or matte and then sort of moving my way up to, you know, something a little bit more glossier if I choose. So we're gonna go over the SoFlat paints by Golden today and just check out what they gave me and do a little sample piece just to see exactly how they sort of mix well together, and you know, the coverage and everything. So they sent me a few bottles of paint. So I get like that permanent green, like titanium white, the ultramarine blue, the naphtol pink, I think that's how you pronounce it. Feels like I have a lisp. The black, the yellow, the cobalt teal, the naphtol red light, and the cadmium orange. So those are the colors that they sent me, but they also have this chart of other colors as well. So you can kind of see, you know, they do have like the run-of-the-mill colors, but, you know, but they are very limited. But, you know, that's why you have to learn how to mix. Like, I want to see more magenta and purples as well, because, you know, sometimes the purples are sort of hard to, you know, get just right. I don't want to be spending time trying to mix the perfect purple every time. So I wish they had more purples and magentas on this list, as well as, you know, sometimes some different sort of teals as well. So I mean, they do have an assortment of those reds to orange, but I want to see some of these other colors be more expanded. But, you know, just from like the sample finish on these, you know, it's very much so up my alley when it comes to, you know, the flat or the matte sort of finish, what I like. So I'm loving, you know, just the sample sheet that they gave as well. So let's get into actually doing a coverage test. So I'm gonna do something similar where I just sort of make this black line and basically do all the different colors across that black line just to see how much does it cover that black line. How many times do I have to go over it to sort of really have a coverage? What does it look like with, you know, one brush stroke or a couple of brush strokes, or just like the first coat? So that's basically what I did to sort of do a coverage test. And I was really surprised because a lot of these covered really well, especially like this green and the teal. So I was super stoked just about the quality of the coverage. So it's kind of like there's a lot of pigment in each sort of load that you load onto the brush. You know, of course the yellows and sometimes the oranges and sometimes the red, not all the times, are going to be a little bit more difficult. But, you know, like this yellow right here really covered well just with one coat. So that's what I really like. And then the, you know, it's called SoFlat for a reason. Looking at the sheen of the actual paint, you know, you're starting to see like, you know, this is really flat and it does not sort of reflect a lot of light. And one thing I really love is that it does keep the consistency really well. You know, when you're starting to build up a little bit, you do have sort of these smoother areas, but I really like the coverage and, you know, how it finishes. One thing I do want to sort of test out too is how do these mix together? What do they look like mixing together? Am I able to sort of mix colors easily to get the colors that I want, to change the tint of a color? You know, what does it look like, you know, when I'm sort of adding, you know, this yellow to this green? You know, what does the coverage sort of feel like then? So basically I'm going to use a reference photo, an old reference photo, to do a little sample piece and just see how that goes. So that's what we're going to do next. So I used a sample reference photo to basically just create this piece. It's something really quick. Within, you know, an hour or to basically painting while just watching videos and Netflix. Gotta have the Netflix, but basically painting just to see exactly how these layered and see how they finish with other colors as well, how they mix with other colors as well. And I'm loving it because I didn't have to really go over a lot of these colors 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times. They were really easy to just cover just once. And I like these a lot better than the Nova colors, because the Nova colors sometimes were kind of inconsistent compared to these when it came to the finish. So because these are so flat, they're made to be all flat. I get like a smooth, consistent finish on these versus Nova color, which would have sort of a satin fill in some areas and then a flat fill in certain areas. So there was like a mix of sort of like the finish on some of those, but these all finished flat. So I'm super stoked about how these came out and how they sort of finished together. So yeah, I mean, I love just having the ability to go from this, and if I want to add more gloss to it, I can with a varnish or a clear coat. But if I want to keep it the same like this, I can just leave it or add like a really nice sort of flat matte sort of clear coat or varnish on top of this, and it won't change too much. So this is basically something that I really like. And not only that, it worked well with the brushes, and I'm going to actually try it with a palette knife, see how that goes as well. So I also use my palette knife just to see exactly how it would flow with the paint and everything, or how the paint would flow with the palette knife. And I kind of like it. It's more fluid than soft body sort of texture or sort of consistency, but the actual paint for me is not that, for me it's not that bad. It's something that I can really work with. It's something that I can also use for murals as well, because it's not as thick. I'm able to use various brushes on it, and it's something that I really like. So I'm on the Jerry Rama website right now with all the sort of SoFlat paint that they have from Golden, and you can kind of see the prices. These are really expensive. So these are 4 fluid ounces. You can kind of see that right there. So if you go to the website, you can kind of see for different colors are going to be different, but you're getting into, okay, for 4 fluid ounces for this sort of yellow, you're getting into $25. For the black, $11. For let's see, for the black, $11. For this burnt umber, you're getting into $11. But they do get more expensive. So like this cadmium orange that I have, that I was using, that's $22. That's almost twice as much. Same with the cadmium red deep. So I mean, as you go down, you're going to see some of these different prices. If you're getting twice as much, not twice, but 16 ounces, 4 times as much, you're getting into $61 for some of these different paints. And it's very much so varies based on the paint that you're getting, because each color is going to be different in how they sort of make it. So that's why paints are sometimes expensive or sometimes really affordable. It's because some paints are used more than others, so they're more readily sort of manufactured, whereas others may be sort of some, a formula that's not widely used, or colors that not widely used. So, they're expensive when they have them out there. So you can kind of see, like I said, the different sort of paints, the 2, the 4, the 16 ounces, and what they cost. So hopefully this helped you out in terms of just knowing the affordability of these paints. So hopefully this review helped you out, and definitely check out the SoFlat paint. I'm not getting paid for this at all. I just like to share some of the things that I have been sort of using and experimenting with. Make sure you smash that like and subscribe button, and I will see you next time. Peace.